There's one. Set for stun.
Three guys sitting in a dark room that smells like bad cucumbers.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Inconceivable!
Now featuring 11 listeners.
This is the Unique Geek.
You slimy scumbag, get on your face and give me 25.
This is the Unique Geek.
And welcome to another edition of 50 Days of Dragon Con, the podcast that just keeps running its mouth. And joining me, as always, is the lovely Lily. How you doing?
I'm good. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, you know
We're
what?
recording one in the middle of the day.
I know, this is very odd to talk to you unless we're like really in person.
All of us are like between work things right now and just trying to, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Just try to drinking down our lunch or whatever. And that I meant by like protein shakes, not the other kind of, what you'll do at Dragon Con. John, it is coming up on Dragon Con and I'm woohoo's just like, wow, I can't believe it. You know what I really wish I had, John? I really, really wish I had somebody who could just like command, just make me do stuff, like would help me, not with a stick up my butt, but would like manage me or
no, you've already taken care of that yourself.
I took that one out, but yes, wouldn't that be nice, John?
It would be.
It would.
If only. Can't you tell we're rushing through this introduction for timing purposes? Oh, let's see. Oh, someone just pulled up outside.
Really?
Who's at the door? Who is it? Oh, it's Beau.
Yay, it's Beau.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, this is Beau, who is the director of Puppetry Track. 13 years, still can't get that right. That's you. And I love your hair. I love your hair. And part of the reason we're rushing a little bit through the intro is because we are doing this during lunch breaks. Some people got to get back to work. So, Beau,
yes,
you are the director of Puppetry Arts. Now, what exactly does that mean?
Well, I'm the director of the Puppetry Track at Dragon Con.
Sorry, I said art. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
No problem. And that means that, like every other track director, I'm responsible for creating programming within the world of puppetry at Dragon Con. And we traditionally view that as two things. One, we celebrate puppetry and pop culture. So that's going to be Muppets, Sesame Street, Star Wars, Dark Crystal, Labyrinth,
even Avenue Q,
films.
Even Avenue Q, but like after 10 o'clock. Things like Avenue Q puppetry.
Sure, yeah, of course. I mean, anything puppetry related in pop culture. And then the second part of what we do is we expose Dragon Con attendees to puppet theater, live puppet theater. Most Dragon Con attendees are pretty much only familiar with puppetry through pop culture. So they know the Muppets, they know, Gremlins and things like that. And so we're introducing shadow puppets and tabletop puppets and forms of puppetry that are used in theater that maybe aren't as familiar to people who are only familiar with it in pop culture. So we celebrate pop culture, but then we also educate about the larger historical background of puppetry and the other styles.
And are you still located in the kind of Marriott atrium level, Pulse Bar level? Okay. So,
yes, we love our spot over there with Star Wars and Kids Track. It's a great little oasis tucked away. There's no through traffic because we're at that little dead end. So the elves come and sing in the dome. We're right outside the big dome there. So the elves come and sing. All the droid builders come and hang out with all their droids and everything. So there's always something cool to see on your way to us.
This is the second time the elves have come up. I've never seen them ever.
Well, there's lots of stuff at Dragon Con you never see.
That is very true. That is absolutely 100% true. Yes.
But I will tell you, okay, so we've already said this once and we'll be saying it again later, but to get to where they are, if you're in the Hyatt, you take the little hamster trail, the Sky Bridge, and you're going to the Marriott. And before you get in the roundabout to go where the Pulse Bar and Sear and everything else over there is, you take a right. And there's this beautiful, beautiful open space of sun. And that's where I got a picture with an R2-D2, which is still one of my favorites from 2019. And then you'll see all of these tracks right there. And puppetry was great because I got some I got 3 puppets in 2019.
Wonderful, yeah.
And I
encourage
love
everyone
them.
to come by we have a little merch booth right outside of our track room where all of the guests and pros that are part of the track have the opportunity to sell their stuff. So you can you're directly supporting the puppet artists by buying their stuff.
Look at how cute he is, John, making bigger.
Okay.
I'm wondering whose worms those are. That's either one of Madison's worms or one of Stacy's worms.
Okay, these are the worms. These, I love it. They're either this worm or this worm, but wrong side. Aren't they so cute? And you can.
Now, Lee, I'll give you a little puppetry practice here. I want you to, now this is what we call monitor work. I want you to have the worm crawl across the bottom of your frame.
Okay, wait, I gotta go this way.
That's backwards.
And I gotta turn him around.
Well, maybe it's backing up across the frame.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Very good. Very nice. Well done. You're hired.
Cool.
for that non-paying job that you want.
I can just do that across. That's awesome.
That's all you're allowed to do.
But okay, so you guys are amazing, and everybody loves it when they go there. Are you guys doing anything on Thursday night as the first official day of con?
We are. So traditionally there has been at least the last couple of years, there's been a fantasy ball at the Center for Puppetry Arts themed either to the movies Labyrinth or Dark Crystal. And then the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance series. That's not happening this year and didn't happen last year because of COVID. No. But this year they are having a reception. There's a new exhibit at the Center for Puppetry Arts Museum that's all puppets from the Netflix series Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
Oh, awesome.
Right. So that's really exciting. New puppets that are from now. You know, these are not puppets from the 70s. These are not puppets from the 80s. These are the brand new puppets made for the new series on Netflix that aired 2 years ago. And I encourage everyone who's interested in Dark Crystal or puppetry and Henson to go check it out. So there'll be a little reception. There'll be drinks and there'll be a little bar open and everything. And it's invitation only to Dragon Con attendees. The center is staying open after hours just for a special reception for Dragon Con attendees.
And is there any cost for that, or is just where you?
Yeah, you have to buy your normal museum admission. Okay. But there's also going to be a discount for Dragon Con attendees. You'll get 10% off museum entry for, I want to say it's the entire month. So if you're coming in early or you're going out late, or if you're a local, you can just come anytime during that month and get that Dragon Con discount and check out the amazing museum. So the Dark Crystal exhibit is in the special exhibit gallery. And so that's in addition to the giant Jim Henson gallery that's got all the Muppets and Sesame Street characters and all that stuff, and the Worlds of Puppetry collection that features puppetry traditions from around the world.
Yeah, and I just love it because, guys, they have a Kermit. Or they had a Kermit. Do they still have a Kermit?
We still got Kermit.
So that's just awesome. And you do something, because this is a kid-friendly podcast. You do something, and Dragon Con is kid-friendly. I've always heard about this puppetry slam that you can't do until late at night.
We cannot do it until late at night. Actually, the puppet slam predates the track.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, in case anybody's not familiar with the history of the puppetry track, first there was Bob and Carl on Dragon Con TV.
Explain who are you? There you go.
I'm Carl of Bob and Carl. And then the popularity of Bob and Carl was leveraged to create a puppet slam, the first puppet slam at Dragon Con. We did the first puppet slam at Dragon Con and turned away 400 people, hosted by the Sci-Fi Janitors. And that was after filling the room and then turning away 400 people. And then Pat came to me personally and asked me if I was interested in creating the puppetry track. And 10 years later, this is our 10-year anniversary of the
Oh,
Puppetry
wow.
Track.
It's been 10 years?
Yay, 10
10
years.
years.
That's so cool. 10 years.
So here we are, 10 years later. The
There you
little
go.
the little yellow puppets that could.
Wow.
All
And are they
started with
still
two
hosting? Are they still hosting this year, or do you have a
Yes,
different? Okay.
Bob and Carl will be back. That's pretty much the only live thing that we do anymore. We're kind of retired. We're definitely retired from making new episodes of the show, but we still get together every year at Dragon Con to host the Slam.
And it was great last year on virtual. Beau gave me a shout out, and I got to show my painted toenails. It was awesome. So hey, go to the puppet. And I laughed so
That
hard.
was the Puck and Puppet Show. That's a different show.
Okay. Sorry, that was
That's
that.
that's my show. That's my
your
local
show.
Atlanta show. We didn't do a virtual
Sorry.
Slam for
No,
Dragon
you
Con.
didn't. Okay, but
No, it's
Sorry.
very, very hard.
It is
I
very
did
hard.
one virtual Slam towards the beginning of the pandemic. That was a fundraiser for Puppeteers of America, since every puppeteer in the country was out of work because we couldn't do shows. We did a fundraiser sponsored by Cheryl Henson, and we raised money for the Puppeteer Relief Fund. So that was a really important thing that I was very proud to be part of, to help support all those puppet artists out there that just couldn't do our thing.
yeah.
Speaking of virtual, do you have anything that's going to be on the Dragon Con virtual?
Yes, we will have two events. Well, we'll have one event on official Dragon Con virtual that is a all puppets game of Are You a Werewolf?
Oh, wow. Nice.
Don't sit on the floor for it. You can't play werewolf on the floor though.
So yeah, that'll be really exciting. That'll be on, I believe, I don't have when that is, but it'll be, I want to say it's on Channel 2, streaming Channel 2. But take a look for that. It's got some really cool guests. Mark Meir is on that one. Lucky Yates is there. Bob and Carl are contestants on it. So that's a lot of fun. Definitely check it out. Cardboardius, which some people may remember from Virtual Dragon Con last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Hilarious.
And then we will be doing one puppet show on social media, a live virtual show by Uncle Nappy's Puppets. Very, very funny and also kid friendly. Yeah, so check that out. That'll be follow our Facebook, the Puppetry Track Facebook page, to see when that's going to be.
And all of this is going to be on the app. When the app comes out, John, if you ask...
The social media show will not be on the app.
Oh, the social media won't. Okay, sorry. So
The werewolf game will. That's just something we're doing through our Facebook page, through Facebook Live.
that will be hysterical. I hope you do have a virtual floor on Facebook Live so you can sit on the floor and do werewolf. You just talked about this virtual show. Are you doing... Okay, and we talked about the Slam, which is after 10 p.m.
The Slam is at midnight on Sunday night in the West End.
Why do you want to do something that late? I can't go.
Now I have to ask. It's the crossover between Saturday and Sunday, right? Not
No, Sunday to Monday.
Oh, okay, so it's a crossover Sunday to Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Midnight
All
on
So it's
Sunday.
really the last big thing that we do.
11:59 p.m. on
like everything leads up to the Slam, and then we kind of
Sunday.
We kind of drag through Monday because we're up. 'Cause the show doesn't start till midnight.
So it goes
we're
into
up
Monday.
late.
Yeah. The midnight thing is what always throws me.
Yeah.
It's midnight. Yeah.
Which, I mean, technically, yes, you're right.
At 11:59 on Sunday night.
So
There we go. There we go. That's what John is just saying. All
A
works.
little insight into my world is that's usually what I have to do when I schedule tasks, like for the job for in IT. I usually wind up just doing 11:59 because otherwise I'll look at it and I'll just go,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know which one.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is in the app it shows up as the next. It shows up as the
Monday?
next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. You've done the Ultimate Puppet Warrior before. Now, are you going to continue that, or?
Yes. So, Ultimate Puppet Ninja Warrior was an idea that one of my guests brought to the table a couple of years ago. That was based on sort of a workshop that they did, and it was so popular that we have not only continued to do it every year since, but it's now 5 separate events.
Ooh.
So it's 5 separate events spread out across Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is open to Dragon Con attendees. We accept teams of 3. So we'll have 3 teams of 3. And if you want to follow the Dragon Con Puppetry Facebook page, there'll be a sign-up sheet for that. you will come if you're interested and you sign up. You'll come to the puppetry track for a basic training session where you'll be paired with one professional puppeteer, and a team of 3 attendees will be trained in the style of tabletop puppet theater. That's where you have one full figure puppet, so head, arms, legs, torso, all that, with 3 puppeteers on it. One doing the head and the lead hand, one supporting the body, the torso, and the non-dominant hand, and another supporting the legs. Those 3 people will then navigate a cardboard obstacle course a la Ninja Warrior with this puppet. We have a team of 3 celebrity judges that will score like the Olympics. They'll hold up cards with their score, and there will be 3 teams on Friday. The winner of that team moves on to the finals. There'll be another 3 teams on Saturday. The winner of that event goes on to the finals on Sunday. The 2-3 teams will then compete against each other for the finals on Sunday, which, due to its popularity, has been moved up to an even bigger room.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's the round 1 and round 2 will be in our track, and then round 3 is in a large room.
Now, do you like a la Real Ninja Warrior? Do you change the course on the last one?
Yeah, the finals has a sort of add-on, so it's the original course with an added part on the end.
Mount Fujijimi or whatever they called it.
Yeah. So it's really, really fun. It's a great way of teaching that style of puppetry and exposing attendees to that style, because a lot of people aren't familiar with it. And if you're an attendee, you're getting trained by, famous professional puppeteers. We had Peter Lenz was one of our coaches last year. Ooh. He's Walter and Ernie. Ernie from Sesame Street and Walter from the Muppets. So, it's a really great opportunity to sort of like rub elbows literally with pretty amazing puppeteers.
And the track supplies the puppet?
Yes, we will provide the puppet.
Okay. Right.
Excellent. So you just talked about this with you got a mentor coach. What about like if somebody we're not there yet because I can barely do my inchworm, but what else? Is there anything else for me?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool.
So the very last thing we do in the track is our Puppetry 101 for adults, and this is a double long session. So it's 2 blocks of time, and it is presented by the amazing Aretta Baumgartner, who is the education director at the Center for Puppetry Arts. And Aretta, this event has become absolutely the way that we always finish the convention. I have had so much feedback from people who come back year after year saying that the last thing they experience at Dragon Con is this time with Aretta, and we've coined it now. She is the cup of coffee for your soul.
There we go.
So people just love coming there, and Aretta just has this amazing energy, and it's infectious. And we say for adults, which means I think we say 16 and up, because it's not really a kids thing. We're not really teaching kids how to do it. It's really professional puppetry techniques for adults. So if you are interested in learning, that's a fantastic place to do it. Now, if you have your own puppets, now you've got your worm puppets there, Lee, but if you are an aspiring puppet builder or puppeteer with your own puppets, we encourage you to bring those puppets to Dragon Con, just like you would wear a costume. We have several events that we cater specifically to people who bring puppets to Dragon Con. Okay. We have the Magic Puppet Tea Party, hosted by Stacey Gordon from Sesame Street. And that is a bring your own puppet. You are only allowed into the event if you have a puppet. It is basically a social mixer tea party for the puppets. And you are expected to stay in character the entire time.
You've been doing that for
we've been doing the Magic
years,
Tea Party for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that would be a challenge for me because worms don't talk.
Well, it
and
certainly
the idea
can,
of going
because neither do frogs.
And by the way, since masks are required everywhere, no one will know that you're talking.
That's right.
That's it.
So,
there we go.
Ventriloquism has taken over the world.
Poor man's ventriloquism in the pandemic. Yes.
That's cool.
So then we also have puppet coaching and characterization, where you can bring your own puppet and you will work not one-on-one, but like 5-on-1 with a professional puppeteer to help really find the character of your puppet. So it's really more of an acting exercise than a puppetry exercise, but it's helping the amateur puppeteers go beyond like, oh, a puppet is a thing on my hand with a funny voice. It's like, okay, well, what is that worm? What is it? What are its fears? What are its wants? What are the physical things that it might do to express itself, right?
Right, and I have 3, and they all have very separate personalities. So
Exactly. So you would be able to work through those with the puppeteers. And then if you're an aspiring puppet builder, we have Extreme Puppet Makeover, which is basically the same format, but you'll be paired up with a professional puppet builder, and they will give you constructive criticism on the puppet that you built.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So those are great. And those are kind of workshops-ish, or...
Yeah, I mean, they're not workshops in the sense that like you make something, but it is a workshop in the sense that you are, working with a professional to learn something. It's not just a talkie panel, it's breakout groups. And then we actually rotate halfway through. So you get to experience 2 different, of the puppetry artists. So you're paired up with one, you get their insight, and then we rotate and you get paired up with another and you get a different perspective from another person.
Okay, very, very cool.
But you are doing workshops, though.
We are doing workshops. That's something we have traditionally shied away from, because the puppetry track, due to its very nature, already has a lot of stuff to manage. There's puppets and props and sets, and there's just a lot of stuff that we have that other tracks don't really have to manage that we do. So I've always been like, do I really want to have a bunch more stuff? But this year we decided to do that. So Jamie Shannon is one of our guests this year. Jamie is a puppet builder and show creator. He is responsible for the Nickelodeon show Nanalan. Nickelodeon was Mr. Meaty. Nanalan was, I think, a CBC show. But he's had several TV shows, and he pitched a bunch of workshops when I started talking to him, and we decided to do it. So one will be potato puppets, where we're providing real potatoes, and you will make a real Mr. Potato style puppet that you can take home. We'll have materials to decorate your little potato puppet with, and then you'll take it home and it'll kind of shrink up like a shrunken head, and you'll end up with this weird little shriveled up, wizened character.
New art for your house. Very cool.
Yeah, and then we're doing the Get Puppetized event, which is very, very new, where you will come and Jamie and a couple of other of our more, handy puppet builders are going to glue with spirit gum, foam and fleece and fur to your face and turn you into like a Muppet person. So big crazy mustaches, big crazy eyebrows, and we'll get through as many people as we can. And then the event right after that is puppet karaoke. So everybody who's got their crazy Muppet makeup on will then go to Muppet karaoke as like a group, sort of almost like a cosplay group. And they will invade puppet karaoke. So we're really excited about that. This is very different stuff. We will be providing gloves for everybody, and because we will be on people's eyebrows and things. So we're taking some extra precautions there. And if it works out, then obviously this isn't an as ideal year to do this event, but we're giving it a shot, and I think the results will be pretty cool.
Well, I mean, this year might be a good year to start something like that because of the lowered attendance rates.
Right.
So it might be you might be able to get a little more people in there. But yeah, I imagine that is obviously first come first serve, and how many people can you slam through? No pun intended.
Yeah. And then we'll also have a sort of take home workshop available from our puppetry merch table, where you can buy a kit, and the kit will come with a link to a YouTube video. And you will basically it was our solution to, well, if we'd have to bring all the stuff and materials and everything. So we're like, okay, well, we can give you the workshop experience. You just do it at home. So you'll buy the kit, take it home, sit down with your materials and watch, and the video will walk you through building that puppet through that kit.
We have a question from
Yeah.
our audience, which is this sounds like fun. My son is 12 and he's interested in learning puppetry. What do you suggest for him the most? He does have a dragon puppet.
Right. Well, I would suggest that he come to the Magic Puppet Tea Party and join us there. So the Magic Puppet Tea Party is while it is a fun event, it's also a little bit of a trick, because what we're doing is instead of doing a more academic approach to saying, this is puppetry 101, this is what a lip sync is, this is what eye focus is, we're putting amateur puppeteers and professional puppeteers in character in the same room. So you're learning more by osmosis. By watching the professional puppeteer stay in character the whole time, you're learning a lot just through that, as opposed to us doing a more sort of like, here's a PowerPoint presentation on how to learn puppetry, right? So that's a really great way to do it. And then there'll be those workshops, and definitely bring the puppet to puppet coaching and characterization. That'll be, like very, very, you'll get direct attention from a professional puppeteer, and to help him perform that dragon puppet.
Now, is there, outside of Dragon Con, is there a resource that you would normally go to with someone that asks for, I want to get into puppetry? Where would I go to look?
There's excellent resources on the Center for Puppetry Arts website. They have they have an entire digital programming arm. Yeah, the center was doing digital before we had to. So they were really ahead of the game when everything went digital. So there's a bunch of excellent courses that you can take there. There's also great YouTube channels about performing and building. So be sure to go check those out.
Well,
and you can also, depending on where you live, you can join your local puppetry guild. So the Puppeteers of America, which is our professional organization, has different guilds around the country. Most major cities will have a guild. So just sort of Google it, and Google Puppeteers of America, Puppetry Guild in your town, and see where the closest guild is. And there you'll meet other people who are interested in puppetry and professionals.
Very cool. And I just wanted to say, this is, if anybody has to sit through another video PowerPoint, I think their head might explode. So I love this idea that you can buy the kit and go home and watch YouTube and play. Because I have a pen in my hand right now.
Pause.
And pause. Yes.
Pause. That's right.
And also, I just love this time that you've got you're talking about the Magic Tea Party and some other things. You've got one-on-one time. You get to chat with people, and that's just amazing. So
we have I'm really proud of the variety of programming that the Puppetry Track presents. We don't do fan panels. Almost pretty much every single thing we do is with professionals. So if we're having a Sesame Street panel, we got people from Sesame Street on that panel. And then the fact that we do these workshops, we have performances, like we really have a very, very exciting variety of programming. And that was one of the things that my first lesson as a track director, my first year, was my takeaway from the first year was that it was too academic. It was like glove puppetry 101, shadow puppetry 101. And I was like, it's not zany enough. And so that's where ideas like the Magic Puppet Tea Party came from, was how do we make this not just puppeteers talking to people sitting in chairs? Like, how do we make it more interactive? Because puppetry is by nature, it's a tactile art form. It's really hard to teach just talking about it. So I think that a lot of the different events that we do, that's one of the strengths of the track, is the variety of programming that we offer.
That is so cool.
And we did have a follow-up comment, which was, and I'll just flash it up here real quick. It says, cool, thanks for the answer.
Yes,
basically.
do not leave your child alone at Dragon Con.
That was what I wanted to bring. That's the point that I wanted to bring up. So she says, it's going to be hard to juggle a schedule because I can't just leave him somewhere.
Nope.
That's true, period, full stop, at Dragon Con. Unless they're 16 or older, you got to be with them.
They got to stay with you.
Right? It's 16, right? Lee?
Yeah, we have no babysitting events in the
So
Puppetry
I'm going to
Track.
check and make sure, but that sounds right. And while you ask Beau another question, I'm going to check.
Well, you mentioned before in our very quick pre-show research that you're doing more shows this year. That it is really more puppet shows than you have in years past, and that's just kind of out of what you were talking about earlier, which is something you learned about being a little less academic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, shows were always part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you can't have a puppetry track without puppet shows, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. But this year we just have, I think, a really excellent lineup of shows. So let me look at what those are really quick.
Lee, is that your dog?
No, it's mine.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm asking
I
mine.
don't have it.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Let's see. So
Start
our
off-
shows this year are, the very first thing in the track is a show, as a matter of fact. There's a local puppetry group called Felt Nerdy, and they will be doing a Batman themed show Friday at 10 called The Bright Knight Returns. So there's a show, and then we'll have 2 performances of a show by the amazing Lion Hill, who's the artistic director of the Columbia, South Carolina Marionette Theater, called Puppet Fun 101. And this is for kids, and it displays a bunch of different kinds of puppetry styles with sort of fairy tale type, type stories. And we're doing 2 small, as opposed to doing 1 performance with a big audience, we're doing it in a smaller room, and to keep the audience smaller, to make it more intimate. So there's 2 performances of that, one on Friday and one on Saturday. Then we have our Shadow Cabaret, which is a variety show featuring only shadow puppet shows. So I highly recommend that. That's at 7 o'clock on Friday.
I'm sorry, what's a shadow puppet? Like when people do the bunnies and the shadow, is that what you're talking about?
That is a specific type of, that's called hand shadows. But I build actual shadow puppets. Shadow puppets are flat, and whether they're projected on a wall or whether they're held up against a screen and they're lit from behind. Those are the types of shows that you'll see there. So that's a really, really cool art form that most people aren't familiar with. So it's a really cool thing to check out. Then we have a big group of pros from a web series called Welcome to Anhedonia. And we had them in 2018, and their live show was extremely popular. It's a wacky show of live human actors playing wacky characters and a bunch of puppets, and it's just very, very zany. And that's at 11:30 on Friday night. Then we have like 5 shows just on Friday. And then at 1 o'clock a.m., we have TV Party Puppet Fails. So this is going to be kind of like a clip show of weird old puppet stuff that aired on TV with sort of like a MST3K riffing commentary on it. Then Puppet Karaoke is kind of a show, but but people are invited. Then we've got a puppet show for 1 person. That's with the Anhedonia folks again, where they'll pick 1 person out of the audience and build an entire show based on them.
Oh, nice. So it's sort of
so it'll be like,
sort of
where do you
improv
work?
type thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're a dentist. All right, now the show's about a dentist, that kind of stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's see. We've got Puppet Improv Adults and Puppet Improv for Kids. And Mark Muir is on those. So if you love Mark Muir and Commander Shepard, come and see Mark Muir do puppets. Then after that, there's Ultra Modern Gentleman's Puppet Show, which is another show from the Anhedonia folks. Then we have a marionette show called Cripps Creations. That's a short string marionette variety show. So that'll be Madison Cripps, who's an excellent marionette puppeteer, who will be performing a huge cast of characters right there on the floor in front of everybody. Then Felt Nerdy has another show. They have a Doctor Who theme show in the Brit Track. And then there's the Slam, and then Felt Nerdy has one other show. They have a Star Trek show also in the Trek Track on Sunday. So we cross promote their shows between the sort of subject matter of the show and then the fact that it's puppetry. So lots and lots of puppet shows this year for
That
kids.
is
And
excellent.
That sounds awesome.
So you're not busy, is what you're saying. You don't have anything to do.
We're very busy. we always clock in at least like 40 hours of programming in the puppetry track. Because we have 2 rooms, we're able to do more. So we have lots of stuff.
I asked you earlier about virtual. Do you know if any of your other stuff will be actually live broadcast, or is it just the?
No, unless Dragon Con TV decides to broadcast it.
Okay.
We're not planning on it. We already have enough on our plate.
Okay.
No, you don't. I haven't heard anything today that.
Do it
course I
all around.
Of
Yeah.
course, I joke. So
I had a
go
I
ahead,
had a
Lee.
question. All right, just a real quick one. We already talked about the Puppet Slam. What are the things that are after 10 p.m. adult only? Is that only the
all the
slam?
adult shows are after 10
Okay.
p.m. So any of the shows that are targeted adults are after 10, and the kids shows are before 10.
There we go.
All right. All right. So,
There is one thing I wanted to mention that's different
Sure.
that we're doing this year is we are doing a 10-year anniversary retrospective panel on Thursday. We've never done one of those. I know that a lot of tracks do sort of like a feedback panel on Monday sometimes. So we were trying that out. So it'll be me and my 2 assistant directors and Matt, who plays Bob. And we're just going to sort of talk about the 10-year history of the track, answer questions, get feedback from folks, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to see more of, that kind of stuff. So check that out on Thursday. That's sort of 10-year anniversary panel for the track.
10-year anniversary. I can't
10
believe it's been
years.
that long. That's
I know, it's wild, right?
amazing.
Crazy.
And it like that.
and you've been there since the beginning, right, Beau?
Yes, I am the only puppetry track director that's ever been.
Excellent.
Oh wow.
All right. So normally this would be the time that we would. This year we've been playing Jackbox games, but because of time constraints, we've got a different game we're going to play with just Lee and Beau today. I've got a couple of questions right here written up on my
Very nice.
back of this card. Yeah, yeah. But
Because
what
your
we're going
name
to do is and we'll decide between the 2 of you who goes first. I've got a couple of puppet themed or movies where puppets were involved. Movies. One of you is going to guess how much, according to Box Office Mojo, for box office take only worldwide, how much it's going to be in millions. It's always going to be in millions. And you can go down to the hundreds of thousands if you want.
$1.
That it made, and then the other will guess higher or lower, and then we'll just swap back and forth.
I'm not very good with numbers. I'm a puppeteer, but okay.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's
who wants-
also like
who-
Yeah,
Who wants
okay.
to? So like if I said Bob's Puppet Mart, which was not a movie, and one of you might say, okay, that made $11 million at the box office. The other would say it's either higher or lower than that. That's the idea. All right. So who wants to
our
guess the
guest.
dollar amount first?
Our
The
guest should go first. Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
So
sure.
Muppets Most Wanted, the 2014. How much worldwide box office to date has it made according to Box Office Mojo?
What's a high number? I mean, I don't know like what a
Well, let's
I don't
put it
know
this
what a
way.
median is
Yeah,
for like
the highest number is under 200 million, and I'll leave it at that.
okay, 100 million.
100 million. Okay, is it higher or lower than that, Lee? Now, remember, Muppets Most Wanted was actually the second
Right.
of the new Muppet movies, if you will.
I'm gonna say lower.
It was lower.
Yeah.
Gets a point for that. It was $80 million. $80 million is
Well,
what it
there
made.
you go.
All right, Lee. Team America World Police. It's 2004.
Oh God, yes. That's the marionette,
Mhm.
and it was the South Park creators. I'm gonna start actually at 100 million because it was raunchy and bad and
Higher.
stuff like that.
No. It was 50 million.
Oh wow.
50 million. Well, you got to remember the other thing is too that's rated R. So you're going to cut
yeah,
out a bunch of people out of that
Oh, I
list.
guess.
Now, and it probably was more popular post cinema release than it was
Yeah.
original cinema release. All right, Beau, this one goes to you. Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie,
Ooh.
1996. 1996.
80,000 or eight. What is it? 800,000.
Okay.
No, 80.
No,
80,000. Yeah.
All right, Lee.
80,000. Geeks like to go to things a lot of times. I'll do higher.
I'm going to give this one to Beau
Okay.
because it was $1 million. Was basically what it made
Okay.
at box office. I'm going to give it to Beau because he was very close and he was going way low, and so I assume that you thought that it was more than $1 million, more than 200,000. Okay, that's good. I'm the judge here, so whatever. These points don't matter.
Well, I will
Lee,
say that one of the
ahead.
on that note, one of the best experiences I've ever had as a track director was meeting Joel from MST3K and getting to puppeteer Crow in the parade in the car with Joel.
Oh
Was
yes,
one of the
yes.
just unbelievable highlight moments of my track director.
What year was that? Was that 19 or was that 18? Or was it even before that?
It was before
It was
19.
18. It was 18 because it was the
18?
same year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him being there, and I remember Crow going past because I was
Yeah, that was me.
standing at the front line. Yeah,
And then Areta Baumgartner from the Center for Puppetry Arts was Tom Servo.
Oh,
That was just
very cool.
that was just the coolest. I mean,
these are the only things you'll see only at Dragon Con. Lee, The Muppets, the 2011 film, the one that
The one that
was
was
the first of the new
The
films.
first of the new ones. Oh boy. Oh boy. 200 million.
lower.
Beau, lower. Lower is correct. It was 165 million, which is basically double what most wanted made at the box office. Again, at the box office, hugely popular afterwards. Obviously, this one goes back to Beau. Gremlins from 1984, world box office to date.
200.
Lee, what you mean 200 million, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Higher.
Incorrect. 154 million
Okay.
There you go.
to date.
Oh.
So the Muppets beat out the Gremlins. That's nice.
Wow.
To
I guess that's interesting.
That's
to date.
inflation.
That's inflation.
That's
Yeah, probably.
inflation.
That's probably true too. Okay, so this one goes to Lee, I believe. Labyrinth. Labyrinth, 1986.
What was the highest number you had?
The highest number we've said so far was 165 million, which was the Muppets, the 2011 Muppets.
Okay. So many of us had a crush on David Bowie. I am gonna go 250 million.
Lower.
Much lower.
Much lower.
13 million to date world
Yeah.
box office. Now of course you do have, as Beau pointed out there, this isn't
Season, yeah.
this
Well,
this
Well, and
isn't
traditionally,
adjusted
both
for
of the
inflation.
films didn't do well at the box office. They became cult classics after the fact, but both Dark Crystal and Labyrinth didn't do very well at the box office. For the amount of money that went into them.
Yes.
Huh, I guess that's true. Yeah,
Now-
I remember kind of reading about that. That's great.
Yeah. Meredith points out that Labyrinth bombed at the theater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dark Crystal bombed worse.
I remember the Dark Crystal one bombing because that one was really. I was just so into puppets at that point, and I remember watching it, and the Skeksis
Mhm.
scared the Jesus out of me.
It's a
Just
scary
like-
movie. It's
gotta-
it's weird.
No, it's a bit weird.
And I don't think, honestly, audiences were ready for a movie without any humans in it. It was so cutting edge and so ahead of its time that
Amazing.
people just weren't ready. They didn't know what to do, and producers, distributors, they didn't know what to do with the movie without people in it.
Right. And I remember the Skeksis then showing up on Farscape, and I was just like, I know them. They were
Yes,
called
very
the
similar
Skeksis,
design, yeah.
But yeah, because it came from Henson.
That's right.
There you
Mm-hmm. Victoria says disappointed the Dark
Oh, I did.
Netflix Dark
I agree.
Crystal series
agree.
got
go.
canceled.
Amazing.
It was good.
It would have been the Gartham Wars. The second season was going to be the Gartham Wars.
Also, Return to Oz is a good movie.
Yes, it is. Return to Oz is awesome.
Lee does not agree. Okay, so now that was after the first round. It's 2-4. Beau is leading with 4. And now for this round, I'm going to give you 4 movies. This is the only question I'm asking you for this one. You're going to order them in the order of, again, how much money they made at the box office lowest to highest. I'm going to give you guys both the same set of movies. So just write it down if you have a piece of paper there, or just be honest. I'll trust you. Okay, so here are. I'll wait while Beau gets a piece of paper, probably out of his printer.
Okay.
Because that's where I normally get mine. It's from the printer. So we've got in alphabetical order. I'm going to give these to you. Dark Crystal from 1982. BCD. Gremlins 2, the new batch. Little Shop of Horrors, 1986's Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, so good.
I love that.
And The Happy Time Murders, 2018. Now, was that any good, Beau?
I didn't actually watch it.
I want to watch it, and I still haven't because there was so much on. Okay, so put them in order of lowest
from
to highest.
lowest to highest. And for each one you get in the right position, for money that they made, you'll get points commensurate to that. So if you get the number one grossing one best, you'll get 4 points, and you get the third slot 3, 2 is 2, and one, basically at converse to the order that they're in, whatever.
Okay.
Let me know when you're done. Again, that's Dark Crystal, Gremlins 2, Little Shop of Horrors, and The Happy Time Murders. Although I guess if I was doing it in alphabetical order, I'm supposed to drop the T on The Happy Time Murders, and actually should have been Dark Crystal, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, Gremlins,
doesn't
Happy
matter.
Time, and then Little
Well,
Shop of
Dark
Horrors.
Crystal is also the Dark Crystal. So
Oh, that is true too.
John, it's fine. I'm done.
Okay.
you're in the weeds, dude.
All right. So, in last place, made the least amount of money. Which do you have, Beau?
Happy Time Murders.
Okay,
No
and Lee.
contest.
Yep.
Lee's got. Okay, you are both correct. You both get 1 point for that. It
You got a
the
Razzie
least-
that year.
Yeah, it made at the box office. Where was it at? 27 million. So everything better than that has made everything else than that has made more than
You know,
27
that
million.
movie has an interesting history because it was written during the time of like South Park, like puppets behaving badly was really hot, but then it took so long to get made that when it finally did come out, everyone was kind of like, these jokes feel like they're 10 years old.
And they
because
were.
That's when you go back and edit and
people were just over the whole puppets behaving badly thing, and it's just like, yeah. Anyway,
You've seen how many
so-
kids.
great puppetry.
No.
From what I've saw, like the puppetry in it's fantastic, and the puppeteers and puppet builders that worked gave it their all. It was just
And Melissa McCarthy
could have come out 10 years earlier.
Right, and Melissa McCarthy is one of my favorite comedic actresses right now. She is hilarious.
All right, number 2.
Number 2, yes. What do you have, Lee?
I have number 2 being the Dark Crystal.
Same.
You're both incorrect. It's Little Shop of Horrors.
Really?
Yes.
Huh?
Ooh. Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay, number 3, Beau. What do you have in the third position?
Gremlins 2.
That is correct. Lee?
Oh, I had Little Shop in 3.
Okay, so Beau gets 3 points for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys both obviously missed the last one, which
Yeah.
was the number 1 out of all that list was the Dark Crystal.
Wow. Huh.
The Dark Crystal.
We just talked about how little money it made.
Well, here's the thing. So here's the thing that you got to remember. Dark Crystal actually had a re-release, if you don't remember.
It's had several re-releases.
So it gets money accumulated towards the box office for that. So yes, Beau, you were correct. Based on the budget, it was a bomb.
Oh, I see.
But it did make $41 million at the box office.
Okay.
Still lower than most of the other more modern puppetry films, but still beat by a long shot the Happy Time Murders. Almost doubled it, I guess. So,
All right, I want one more little piece of puppet trivia before I have to go. So in Little Shop of Horrors, it has one of the most amazing performances ever. In the scene where the plant is singing in the same frame to Seymour, the mouth movements which were being performed by Brian Henson were so complicated. All the little lip, all that stuff was so complicated that they had to film it in slow motion.
oh, really?
Moranis performed that song in slow motion to match the puppet, and then they sped it up. So they played the track slowed down so that Brian could puppeteer and get all those tiny little movements in there. Rick Moranis was moving and fake singing, lip syncing in slow motion in that scene. That's how crazy good the puppetry in that movie is,
Wow.
and a testament to Rick Moranis as a performer.
And we all have to say that is a part of a certain generation's lexicon of Feed Me Seymour. And
Yes.
it's just, so much of that movie. And there's a black and white version with Jack Nicholson.
The original,
and I
yeah.
tried, and it was good. It's just very.
Well, it doesn't have it doesn't have the songs.
It doesn't have the songs. It's very different.
And obviously, the Audrey 2 puppet is still amazing. That movie holds up. There is that puppet looks just as good as it did back then, as it looks just as good now as it did back then.
Yeah, the my youngest just watched it. I'm going to share a little bit of trivia with them because they thoroughly enjoyed that film. And that's a lot saying coming from my.
We've actually done a little Shop of Horrors panel. Marty Robinson is like the man when it comes to he trains all of the Broadway versions. He trains the plant puppeteers. And he's been one of our guests before. He's also Telly on Sesame Street. Great guy. Marty's awesome.
Excellent. All right, so the final score is Lee had 3 points and Beau 7. Congratulations, Beau. You win our congratulations.
Okay.
Thanks.
I found it. It is, but children under the age of 16 need to keep a parent or guardian nearby at all times. So
it was 16.
puppetry, 16. So puppetry, kids track, any of those tracks, you might be like, oh, it's fine. You cannot leave your child alone.
No.
No,
They
we don't
drive
provide
legally
any
in
babysitting
Georgia.
events.
These are not babysitting. They cannot
Nope.
drive with an actual license in Georgia, which is 16. I went through it. They can't be alone.
Okay. So Beau, real quick, one last time, where is your track at and where can they find you on the interwebs?
We are on the atrium level in the Marriott, A704 and A703, which is tucked away in that cool little corner. You can check us out on the Puppetry Track, the Dragon Con Puppetry Track on Facebook, and that's pretty much. We don't really have a Twitter or anything else. That's our main sort of outlet. So you can keep up with news of what we're going to do there, and also I post news items about past guests and future guests and present guests. So if you want to keep up with, I really loved that guest from that year. Well, I try to, drop little news items in there of what those people are still, doing now. So that's where you can check us out. Crank up that Bob and Carl, old Bob and Carl playlist on YouTube while you're finishing your costumes.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people do that. So to get in the mood and we'll see you at Dragon Con. Masked up.
We have to let go, Beau. I'm going to say one thing.
We got to let go, Beau, but real quick, because this is a question I can't answer. So parents at events that need puppets, do the parents need one too, or can they just observe?
The parents can hang out, sort of hang out as a wallflower. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So thank you, Beau, again for your time. We appreciate it.
We got to get off.
Yep, we do.
Oh,
so until what?
Nothing. Keep going. I just said a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I was talking over you. So until next time. For Beau,
Good journey.
Lee, John, peace.
Bye. And Beau's gone.
And
Yep. Okay, so hold on. Hold on. This is that extra show part. I have to tell you guys, the first time we set up a puppetry 50 days of podcast, I couldn't be here. I was on vacation. And believe it or not, was somewhere where there was an internet. I don't know how many. Well, it's 10 years ago, and I think we talked to him like the second or third year of puppetry. John texted me afterwards and said, "You didn't tell me, Beau did Bob and Carl." And I was like, "How did you not know that?" And he was like, "I didn't know." So John did have a huge fanboy moment, and it was adorable. And I probably could find the text. No, I couldn't find the text message.
You can't find the text. That was like 10 years ago, or 9 years ago, depending upon
9 or 8. Yeah, but
I'm not sure if we got him the first year or not, but it was certainly towards the very beginning.
I think I even called you afterwards when I sent you the text, and I was like, "So how'd you do?" And he was like, "It was Carl and Bob." It was
all right. Well, listen, we got to go.
It was
so till next time. Peace.
This was a production of The Unique Geek. Call our comment line at 8133210TUG. That's 81332108884. Email us at thegeeks@theuniquegeek.com or 50days@theuniquegeek.com. Follow The Unique Geek on Facebook and Twitter. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike license.